Hey guys, welcome back here to the hillside. Although it may not feel like it yet, fall is only 4 days away. It's middle of September and it has still been very, very hot. However, do not forget that this is the perfect season to sow cover crops. Yes, cover crops. They are going to benefit you greatly in the long run by building organic material and just adding roots and systems into the ground. If you practice no-till, it's going to help your overall soil tremendously, okay? And I don't know about where you guys live, but they're charging upwards of 75 to 80 bucks for like a truckload of compost, which is just ridiculous. So as you can see behind me, and if you watch my videos here on the hillside, I am blessed with absolutely zero topsoil. Okay, that is something that is very difficult living on a hillside or in the mountains for that matter. You're not always blessed with deep soil. There are parts of this yard back here, guys, that are 2 to 3 inches down as solid rock. And the parts that aren't solid rock are rock hard clay that you can barely dig through anyways. So the part that I have actually kind of dug out over the years, check out some of my old videos about how I've grown and how I kind of built this place from the ground up. Foundation was cover cropping and adding organic material. So this year I'm going to go big into cover cropping, and just going to kind of bring you along with me and just talk about some of the things I'm using this year. I'm trying a little bit different to make a new compost slash cover crop blend. So let's go ahead and see what I have here in this bag and talk about what I'm experimenting with this year. So the first one is a receipt. The next is red clover. Okay guys, so red clover is great, just like all clovers, at building nitrogen, okay? But unlike regular clover that grows in your yard, red clover is going to produce a tremendous amount of biomass as well. So it's actually going to flower, produce a lot of biomass, and these just little treated seeds like this. These might be pelletized, obviously, but yeah, this is about $1.76. Okay, so for $1.76, I got a half a pound of crimson clover seeds. That is going to go a long way. Okay, now remember, buying compost by the truckload is extremely expensive. So growing your own organic material to add benefits to your garden is, in my opinion, the way to go. Next off, what do we have here? It's the big one right here. This is annual ryegrass, okay? I've grown this before. It puts on tremendous amount of growth at first, first flush like that, but it's gonna be killed off by the winter, okay? So at least in my zone 7A, where you live, maybe it'll last longer, but it is an annual, okay, most parts. And if you've seen grass seed before, but here's just a look at it. This is just your rye seed. Okay, now this is gonna sow, this is what's gonna get you a lot of your just biomass, okay? Crops like rye, maybe if you wanna use oats, something like that, be careful because they sometimes may be difficult to terminate, as in kill them off in the spring if you don't want to till them in and things such as that. But annual rye, at least from my opinion, I've used in the past, it will grow tremendously and it will die off and make a nice little mat carpet of just organic material on the soil for you to work with. So sit that down here now. 2 more things. Here we go. Now this is buck forage oats. So I've never grown oats before. I've always heard of other people using them in their compost and their cover crop blends, if you will. And just like the name implies, as these are oats, okay? Just like other grass seeds, a little bit bigger. These oats are actually going to be more of a cooler season crop, so you definitely plant these in the fall, maybe late winter, depending where you live. Okay, and these are going to hopefully, if they do survive the winter, they might need to be mowed down or weed eated in, something like that. But I do practice, at least I try to practice the no-till as much as possible up here. So if I do have to terminate these with a weed eater or something like that, maybe put a tarp over them for a little bit, it's still going to produce a tremendous amount of cold hardy winter growth, okay, which keeps the root zone alive, which benefits the microorganisms, worms, things like that in the soil, gives them something to munch on as the plants decay. And the last thing I'm using this year, guys, I've never used before. Again, these are Austrian winter peas. So winter peas, again, coupled with the rye, is a pretty common, even in commercial agriculture, rye and oats, providing more and more nitrogen. These are just like little peas that you would maybe a little smaller than the ones you grow in your garden, like English peas for eating. But these, like I mentioned, are going to produce a lot of nitrogen. So a lot of commercial agriculture uses a rye and oat blend. And I'm going to try it this year in my my little garden up here, guys. So let me go ahead and mix these together and talk about how you can go ahead and apply these in your garden as well. So let's go ahead and look at how we mix these up. All right, so first up are the winter peas at $1.06. Quite a bit of seed you get for $1, guys. Look how much that's going to produce Now let's look at the red clover. It's $1.76, so we're about what, $2.90 so far. Doing good, doing good. Now this is the annual rye. This is $1.20. So we're doing great, guys. I'm gonna take a little bit of this out because I'm gonna use it to actually seed a couple bare spots in the ground there, but that's about maybe 3/4 of a pound of the rye. And to that, the forage oats, which is a grand total of 45 cents for a half a pound of oats, guys. There you go. So for a grand total of about, we'll say less than $5, at least where I'm from, guys. And all you're gonna do is mix it up. It's not a big deal. You don't have to overcomplicate this. It's gonna get mixed up just fine, guys. Look at this. And there you go. And for $5, look how much cover crops you have, guys. This is like thousands of seeds in here for $5, okay? You can either go to the store and have someone deliver and pay shipping fees and handling fees and all kinds of delivery fees, and maybe you're older or you have a bad back, or maybe you have busted ribs like I currently do. It's a long story. So I don't really have the option right now of carrying a truckload of compost. All right, boys are all old and grown and moved out, so I don't have the free child labor anymore. But it's the child labor for your kids, I don't know. Anyways, there you go. So that's the nice little mixture right there. You can add other stuff, guys. There's tons of different kinds of clovers you can add. If you want to add wheat or anything like that, you can add that as well. You can even clear out your garden if you have a bunch of old like English peas and things like that. You can always just add those to your compost. I've taken a bunch of old like green beans and black-eyed peas and things like that in the summertime and just threw them in the garden, let them grow, and they're just a nice little ground cover, adding nitrogen to the soil. So you don't really need to spend a lot of money to have a major impact. So let's go ahead and just show you how I'm going to spread this on the garden. Make it real simple. It's really not complicated at all, but I'm sure someone out there might be asking that question. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that for you right now, guys, and show you just how easy it is to improve the quality of your soil, which is $5 worth of compost, cover crops, and organic matter. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so it couldn't be any easier, guys. All you need to do basically is get a handful of your cover crop blend. You're just gonna kind of make sure you lightly just kind of cover the area. Now this is a little barren spot. This plants have been long removed from the garden. So now it's time to get something else growing. Some more roots get into the soil. So it's really just make a nice little even pass with it, guys. It's gonna be doing just all right. So we're supposed to get some heavy rains hopefully today or tonight, hopefully. So I'm not gonna water this now, but if it's not gonna rain in your forecast, I recommend you soak this in really thoroughly to get that soil and seed contact so it gets them off to a nice start. So for $5, guys, look how much you can add all of this organic matter. It's gonna be in your soil. It's gonna be helping your garden thrive. And I'm gonna talk about one other thing. So these little peppers here, as you can tell, are on their last legs. They're about done with the season. So yes, you can add cover crops directly to other plants that are already growing. As these plants kind of die out, cut them off, and all of these seeds are gonna start growing in this raised bed like this, providing a nice little cover crop layer that will help benefit. So in the springtime, cover with the tarp, do something, kill it off, plant directly into it. It's gonna be just fine. Your plants are never gonna know the difference. In fact, they're gonna love it because of all the organic matter that's gonna be in your soil as a benefit of only $5. All right, guys, hope that was helpful. If it was, please give this video a nice big thumbs up. If you did get some benefit from it, maybe consider subscribing as well. Until next time, guys, I'll be up here in the garden. You guys get out there and do the same. Until then, bye-bye.